in the back.
Oh, do you want to join him?
To be honest, I don't know much about what's
You can jump on if you know what's like.
No, doesn't matter. You don't need to know. It's about more like
your perspective,
you're obviously Pakistani, so you like
Jump
your.
in, man.
He's Punjabi as well.
You've started?
Rolling.
So let me get the white man to hold my camera. Yeah, white man's burden, man. Do it. Content over everything. I love getting white people to hold stuff for past colonial mistakes.
Did you see the video with Tio and the Israelite?
Yeah, I watched that one. But
What's that?
You watch it back?
Yeah, hey brothers, we all
Took
know
it back
one.
and bring him into slavery and all that.
Oh my god. Alright, so I'm with Osama. It's Osama, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit strange seeing us two in
Very
the same
strange.
camera because we normally kind of butt heads a bit, but we are going to talk about a topic right now, which is about India and Pakistan. What people don't know. Oh my god. Do you think is it going to be okay for it to thingy? Because I think you might need to get closer.
Is the mic gonna catch everything? Because it's quite windy right now.
It's still going to pick up. That's for the wind
Do you think it's worse here or better?
I don't know, man.
It seems to be worse. It's like it's funneling
Let's
the.
start, man. He's gonna
Oh yeah.
Well.
Alright, so basically India and Pakistan are currently warring at the moment. The last war they had was in 1971 and India won, obviously. No offense to you guys, but the thing is, before I go on though, I just need to preface one thing. I am not pro-India. I'm not, obviously, I don't support Pakistan either. I don't even support the idea of India as a concept, just because of the fact that I believe that India was subdivided by the British, boo to the British, into areas. I'm only joking. I'm British Punjabi Sikh, so basically when it comes to.
You remember I worked for the Sikh Human Rights Group?
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh yeah, you told me.
Just
yeah.
have Singh Rai, yeah.
Oh, big up. So the thing is, when it comes to the concept of India, I always thought it should have been 5 to 6 separate countries rather than 3. And so I always thought that the Punjab, which is where my people are from and where Big Arts people are from. Where are you, Big Arts? You scared? Big Arts are scared, man. He knew he was losing the war. Yeah, I'm gonna joke.
Right now.
No, I don't know. But basically, yeah, so when it comes to that situation, I have a bit more of a nuanced view on it because although, I'm Punjabi and my people are from the Punjab in India at the moment, I am for a separate homeland for the Punjab. I would classify myself as a Khalistani. For people that don't know what Khalistani is, somebody that wants a separate homeland for the Sikhs in the Punjab, but not through violence. I would want it through a referendum. And if the Punjabis decide to stay, they stay. If they don't, then let's move on. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more nuanced because obviously there's no Indians here to outrightly defend their side.
I'm an Indian.
I'm not going to say too much about that Samosa carrying prick, yeah? I'm only joking.
No, don't say that.
I'm joking.
He's a nice guy,
He's not a nice guy. He's always heckling you. So basically, when it comes to this situation, I'm going to try and look at it objectively, but obviously, I am going to have my own biases in the sense that I want what's best for the Punjab, because what people need to understand, when Pakistan and India goes to war, we are literally on the border where the war is gonna be at its kind of, let's just say, it's kind of like at its utmost kind of ferocity. That's the area that it always happens in the Punjab because it's the crossroads into India. So when we're going to talk about this, I'm going to try and be nuanced and balanced as much as I can. But from your perspective, because the thing is, it did start with the Kashmiris, and Kashmir, half of Kashmir, like Punjab, Kashmir is half of it's in India and half of it is in Pakistan. So before we go on, because the thing is, there was an attack on Indian soldiers, which some terrorists killed 40 Indian soldiers, including 4 Sikhs, and that's what started this particular events of this kind of what you call a war. So can you just give us an overview of Kashmir and whites?
So can we talk about the history first of Kashmir? Why is all this territory is happening? Like, why is
if you want to go into
like, I've already made a video and content over everything about like the disputes in Kashmir. So like we already know, there's one Kashmir in India and one Kashmir in Pakistan. The India Kashmir is called Jammu Kashmir, and the Kashmir in Pakistan is called Azad Kashmir. So in 1947, like we know the partition, like the Muslim majority states were meant to join Pakistan and the Hindu majority states were meant to join India. So in Jammu Kashmir, the ruler at that time, his name was Maharaja Hari Singh. He was not a Sikh, he was a Hindu ruler. And he wanted to join, essentially he wanted his own country. However, the people in the local population of Jammu Kashmir, what they wanted was to join Pakistan. Reasonably why? Because of course there's a majority Muslim population and they wanted to join Pakistan, of course the Muslim country. And however, the Maharaja Hari Singh, he declined. He goes, no, I don't want to join Pakistan. I want to have my own country. But if they're not going to let me have my own country, I'd rather join India. Because of course he's a Hindu ruler. And the people at the local population, they had a rebellion. They were like, no, we're going to join Pakistan. We're going to try our best to join Pakistan. And that's exactly what happened. So the Pashtun forces from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, they came to Kashmir and they fought the people at that time. And of course, at that time, what happened was that there's some small portion of Kashmir, which is modern day Azad Kashmir right now, they had some freedom. However, at the same time, Maharaja Hari Singh, he went to India and he goes, listen, I need some help, I need some support. And the Indian government goes, no, we're not going to help you until you decide to join with us. And then Maharaja Hari Singh eventually agreed. He's like, yes, I will join your country. And then the Indian military, they came to Kashmir and they occupied it, and then of course they controlled Jammu Kashmir. And ever since that day, there's been a lot of problems going on there due to the fact that, of course, Muslim majority state, and they're not happy with the Hindu ruler. So they want to join Pakistan, but unfortunately, till this day, there's been violence going on because, of course, there's rebellion, right?
Can I ask you, do they want to join Pakistan or do they want their own independent
Okay,
country?
I have to be honest with you. I'm a Kashmiri myself, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you are
I'm
Kashmiri, alright.
I'm
Cool.
Kashmiri. My mom's from Patan. My mom's
Yeah.
from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So they wanted to join Pakistan. Of course, that's the only option they had.
Yeah.
But recently, there have been some movements that are saying they want Kashmiri as their own country. However, I believe there should be a referendum.
Yeah.
Like just like you want a referendum from
for the
Khalistan.
Punjab, yeah.
Whatever they want, let's let them have
Just
it.
so that people know,
Yeah.
Kashmir is literally as close you're going to get to Punjab as
Exactly,
you can get.
right next
it's
to Punjab.
literally next to
Right next to it's right in the
So
north.
just to give you an understanding,
Yeah.
Bangladesh, which a lot of people think is like 3,000 miles away from the Punjab.
It's
and
very far away
Pakistan,
from
yeah.
it. That's why it didn't even work out
Whereas
anyway.
Kashmir is literally on the doorstep. You can go from, Punjab to Kashmir in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
It's not that-
exactly.
it's not that- it's
So-
not that far.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, no problem.
Is there any natural resources in Kashmir?
Alright, so like cool. There's a lot. If Kashmir joins Pakistan and India, it'll be very beneficial for both the countries. Why? The main resource is the water supply. Most of the water supply from both countries come from Kashmir. So if Kashmir joins India or Pakistan, it'll be beneficial for both of them.
And
But
they're
however,
trying to restrict it somehow, aren't they, the Indian government?
the Indian government is trying to restrict the water supply to go to Pakistan. However, it is very disputed. But like what I believe, I'm sure you believe the same
Yeah.
thing, that the Kashmiri people should have a referendum.
Yeah, I'm for
Three
the
options: Pakistan, India, or their own independent country.
Yeah.
We both have no issue with
We
that,
have a
right?
similar thing though, because Punjab also has water being siphoned out of it to 75% of the water from the Punjab is being given to Gujarat and other areas, and this is one of the bones of contention about why Punjab is so important for India, because there's so much water and the agriculture.
The land of the five rivers. That's what
Yeah,
it's called.
so Kashmir, because one thing I've realised is that a lot of people that support Khalistan, I support Khalistan, are actually siding with Pakistan.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, so this is where a lot of people don't really realise that the Sikhs who are in Punjab and India side, I'm not one of them, in the sense that I don't support either side. I want what's best for the Punjab. But I've heard a lot of Sikhs now who are supporting Pakistan over India because of the Khalistani movement, where they want a separate homeland.
Yeah, of course, 100%. And the same, and that, also we could add is like Imran Khan, like after the new government that we established, that Imran Khan, he allowed the Sikhs to come pilgrimage without any visa requirements, and he opened the border just for the Sikhs.
The Kartarpur corridor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So-
going to be put on hold on anyway.
So remember at the first you were like, putting a lot of violations to Imran Khan because of the blasphemy laws, but at the same time you have to be just like Imran
All right,
Khan.
let me
He's
just
doing a lot for-
let me
a
just
lot of
clear
things for
something,
the
because
Sikhs.
one of the reason why me and him and
Yeah.
Big Ards and them, like, the reason why Big Ards done his Benny Hill skit chasing me around the park
Yeah.
all those months ago was because I started calling out Pakistan. Now, I'd never really said that the Sikhs have been treated badly in Pakistan. I think that out of all the minorities, the Sikhs are probably treated the best.
Better than the Ahmadiyas, by the way.
Yeah. So, but I was talking about the whole situation, not necessarily the Sikhs. So a lot of people got this misconstrued that I was criticising Pakistanis for the way they were treating Sikhs. That wasn't my case.
Alright, cool.
So we don't want to go into that, because
I know,
obviously
probably, yeah,
that was the reason why we had our issues, and I had my issues with Big Ards and stuff. But when it comes to the Kashmiri situation now, then, and the war, that's because this terrorist attack happened around 2 weeks ago,
Alright.
and then you had Pakistan and India. Obviously, they're going to retaliate. And then just recently, around a week ago, they went into Pakistan.
Yeah, let's talk about that now. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the
so
recent
the-
political tensions
yeah,
between
yeah.
Pakistan and India.
Yeah.
So what happened was like Jaish-e-Mohammed, which India claims is a Pakistani militant group, which the Pakistani government declines. Like we don't believe that. We don't believe. We have never funded the Jaish-e-Mohammed group. We have no associates with them at all. You know, the same Jaish-e-Mohammed group that attacked the Indian military, they were also responsible for attempting to assassinate Musharraf.
Yeah.
So how can we ever support a person that attempted to attack our Prime Minister? So basically, the Jaish-e-Mohammed group, they came to India and occupied Kashmir, and they had a suicide bombing, and they killed 40 soldiers. How much was that? Approximately 40 soldiers, right?
40 soldiers.
40 soldiers. Yeah, they killed 40 soldiers. And of course, the Pakistani government straight away declined it. We had no responsibility at all. We did nothing at all. But the Indian military and Indian media, I'm sure you're aware of this.
All right, so let me
Wait,
just...
can I just finish this off?
Yeah, go.
So the Indian media and the Indian government, they straight away blamed Pakistan without any objective evidence or without any evidence. They straight away blame Pakistan. Like, oh, Pakistan was responsible for this attack. Even though Imran Khan, he made a statement like, no, we had no responsibility at all. We had a meeting with the King Salman. We had dialogues with the Afghanistan government. We had dialogues with United Nations. How can we ever be responsible for such an attack when we had so much going on? So it's like,
All right,
it
so
makes no sense. You know what I mean?
well, I'm going to say it straight. Modi, you're a terrorist. Modi is the Prime Minister of India. Modi is a criminal.
So you believe he's responsible for the attacks in Kashmir
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is
for
that...
his elections?
What I'm saying is that, no, in Gujarat.
Yeah.
He was the chief minister of Gujarat when
Yeah.
all those Muslims were killed.
So why don't you believe you can do it the same thing
no,
again just to
but
win the elections?
so let me just say something. He's got an election coming up in
Yeah.
around a month.
Yeah.
I believe he's using these circumstances to bolster his election chances of winning. I'm not saying that
He was responsible.
I'm not saying. I don't believe he was responsible
I
for
personally
what
think
happened.
that, but, yeah.
I personally believe he is using this as a way to bolster his chances of being able to get re-elected. And what he's doing is escalating the situation. And he's sent in the bombing raids into India. And there's reports on both sides. I think both sides, when it comes to the news reports, have been totally biased.
All right.
So Pakistan said that when the aeroplanes came in and bombed these particular areas, there was 0 casualties.
Yes.
India said there's 350. Obviously, in my opinion, I would say both sides have exaggerated. I think there was probably, I can't say, but maybe it could have been 100 maybe.
All right, Raj, I disagree with that 100%. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
If
alright.
you believe any casualties in the Pakistani occupied Kashmir, show us like satellite images, show us any bodies, show us a funeral. There's no information, there's no knowledge at all, there's no objective evidence at all that 300 people got killed, or even one person got killed. And if there is, I challenge anyone in the person that's watching the video, show me any bodies, show me any satellite imagery that 300 people got killed. What they did was, they did eco-terrorism. What is eco-terrorism? Like trees and plants and animals that got destroyed. But however, I challenge anyone, like I said, if there's any evidence that supports that the Indian military, they had a bomb and they killed 300 people, I would like to see it. However, at the moment,
Can you not see that's being a bit biased?
how is it being biased? Like I
Because-
said, I want to see evidence.
Oh, no, but
you believe in objectivity,
but
right?
can you not see that your government as well, the Pakistan government, isn't the most trustworthy or stable government themselves? Could they not
The
be...
previous governments, I believe that.
No,
But at the moment, I really like Imran Khan.
No offense. Imran Khan, yeah, although he's Prime Minister or President of Pakistan, the military generals are still pretty much the guys that run the show behind the scenes. So they're not going to admit to India going into their airspace and bombing people within their country, and there being casualties there, because that's going to look bad upon the military and Imran Khan. So what I'm saying to you is that they could have easily have covered up the bodies. They could have easily have not done any funerals or done them very privately. To say that you need to see the bodies in order to say that there was casualties, I think that's being a bit biased yourself as well. I'm saying to you that the Pakistan government is saying 0. The Indian government saying 350. It could have been 50, it could have been 20, it could have been 1, it could have been 2. But to say that you're having a bombing raid into Pakistan and not a single person died, can you not see that's probably...
Honestly, yeah. Like,
probably
in this video,
impractical.
I'm trying to be like non-biased. Or I'm trying to be like an outsider in this situation.
Yeah.
Like I said to Raj before as well. If there's any objective evidence that the Indian pilots and they dropped a bomb and they killed 300 people, I'd like to see it. Raj says no, they covered the bodies. They could have.
No, I said they could have.
They could have. There's a possibility that the bodies have been covered and it's been faked off and the Pakistani media have been hiding it. It's very impractical, to be honest. Like there was actually satellite imagery as well, and they analyzed the specific area where the Indian pilots they destroyed it.
I'm asking you a simple question.
Objectively, though.
I'm asking you a question. Both sides have lots at stake. If India says they went into Pakistan and they only killed 50 people or 10 people terrorists, it's going to look badly upon the Indians in the sense that they're not going to have done their strategic goal, which was to destroy that particular group. So they're going to exaggerate the numbers. The same way that Pakistan then has an invested interest in trying to keep their side and their military prowess intact by saying that no one got killed. They literally come in and did nothing. So all I'm trying to say to you, both sides.
Raj, anyone can say that we
But
bombed some
what I'm trying
people
to say-
and
but-
we could
but what I'm
easily
saying-
make a claim
but what I'm
without
saying-
any evidence.
But what I'm trying to say to you, both sides, yeah, have an invested interest in trying to downplay or overplay. That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree with that 100%. Of course, Pakistan's going to have their own bias and India's going to also have their own bias. We accept our responsibilities for any stuff that we do.
Yeah.
However, when it comes to this specific circumstance, like, you know what, you think I just love Pakistan so much.
I don't think that.
I condemn my government for years and years.
Yeah.
Nawaz Sharif, Musharraf, Zardari, they're all messed up people. I never agree with them. All the stuff they did was wrong. For example, the Bangladesh genocide in 1971.
Yeah.
I totally condemn it. I totally disagree with it. Even though I believe the numbers were over-exaggerated, I do believe a lot of people got killed and raped. I agree with that. But for this circumstance, Raj, I 100% I believe that there is no objective evidence. If there is, I would like anyone to show me, even like United Nations, any outsiders. I want them to show specific evidence to see that 300 people got killed.
All right,
but anyways,
so the
moving
thing is,
on. Let's move on
there's
from
no
this.
way
innit?
of proving that. But
Yeah.
the thing is, obviously, once that happened, Pakistan then decided, well, they had to kind of retaliate. So they've then come in with their planes and they've attacked India. And
Not really. India came to our airspace. They basically, first what happened was India, they violated the international laws.
Yeah, and then
They
basically
violated-
Pakistan
They came
went
to
back
our
in.
land, right?
Yeah, and then
You have to be
Pakistan
honest.
went back. Yeah,
They came to Pakistan, occupied Kashmir.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so
They tried bombing us, and what happened was
Pakistan then came in, and there was a retaliation for what India done, and what they did was to bomb certain areas. And when they, I think it was MiG-21s, one of the Indian pilots was chasing back the Pakistani pilots, and he got shot down, and the Pakistanis captured him.
yeah.
So he's been released now, but they captured him. And both sides once again are telling different stories.
And let's clarify what exactly happened. You can give your story. I can give my perspective.
Yeah, let me just do this. So,
Alright, cool,
yeah,
cool,
so
cool.
basically, from what I've seen is that one F-16 was shot down, which is the Pakistani side, and I think one MiG-21, which is an Indian aeroplane, and maybe another one was shot down. So India is saying one aeroplane was shot down, Pakistan saying two, Pakistan saying zero aeroplanes of theirs was shot down, but India is saying one. So this is what I'm saying, where there's this kind of like so much inconsistency between both sides. What's your take on it then?
All right, my specific take on this situation was, so basically the pilot, what's his name again, sorry? Abhinandan?
I can't remember the name.
Wait, I've got it written down here somewhere.
South
Abhinandan,
Indian
I think it's
guy.
Abhinandan or whatever, yeah? So there's two pilots that came to try to attack the Indian occupied Kashmir for the retaliation between the bombings of India. So they wanted some retaliation, right? So one came, his plane got shot down, yeah? And then we captured Abhinandan. The other plane got shot down, but however, that landed in the Indian occupied Kashmir. So the evidence is that we destroyed the plane was Abhinandan.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the evidence, isn't it? Like we had captured him. And you know, have you seen the interview of Abhinandan?
Yeah,
When
they
we
done,
gave him giant stuff?
Pakistan done well.
Even he said it himself, the media is biased and is lying to escalate the situation. And he even said it himself. What happened was his plane got shut down. He went down. He had a pistol in his pocket. He got rid of it because there's a lot of mobs and the mob was attacking
Yeah,
him.
no, Indian.
Not gonna lie, what happened? The mob was slapping
Yeah,
him up.
but the thing is, when you
Mob-
look,
mob was
some
slapping him up,
some
not
people
gonna
showed me the video and they said, "Oh, look what's happening," but they can't understand Punjabi. But when you're listening to, it, you can hear the Punjabi soldiers going, "Oh, leave him alone,
Exactly,
leave him alone."
leave him alone. So-
It sounds like if you don't understand Punjabi or the language, it sounds like everyone was shouting.
But I have to be honest, so the mob was slapping him up, yeah.
Yeah, but the Indian art, but the Pakistani, the main thing is obviously, if you have an enemy soldier coming in, you're
trying
going
to
to be
attack you.
pissed off.
Of course, you're gonna slap him
But
up.
it's what does the authorities do? So I'm gonna say big up to them for
Pakistan military, big up.
bringing the Indians, the Pakistani soldiers. I can hear them clearly because obviously I'm Punjabi, so I can hear them say leave him alone, and they brought him in and then they treated him very fairly. So I think that's quite well. But the thing is, like, this is where I did like an analysis of what I think would happen if India and Pakistan went on a full-scale war, and my analysis was that India will win. That was my overarch, and that's coming from a perspective of somebody that doesn't really support India as a country.
You know what? I think no one's gonna win, to be honest. You think India's gonna win? I think no one's gonna win. Two nuclear warhead powerful sovereign nations having a war. I think no one's gonna actually win because, of course, if India's gonna nuclear bomb Pakistan and Pakistan's
No,
gonna nuclear bomb India.
take the nuclear bomb equation out of it, because both sides, what people don't realise, Pakistan became a nuclear power in 1998.
Yeah.
And India also has
88.
nuclear powers. Both sides, when it comes to the nuclear powers, in terms of how many warheads they have, how many, the ballistic range and everything like that, are very evenly tied. In fact, I might think Pakistan might have a slight edge, because they have an extra, I think, 30 nuclear warheads.
But Raj, numbers don't matter, to be honest. If you have more pilots, if you have more military
no,
personnel, numbers don't matter.
No, but-
I believe, like both nations, they would give a good fight. Like the Indians always say the Indian military will win. The Pakistanis always say the Pakistani military will win. Like we have our benefits and you have your benefits.
All right, so let me.
we have our drawbacks
Let
and you have your
Let me
drawbacks.
explain why I come to the conclusion that Pakistan would lose overall. So let me just say why I believe this. Take the nuclear equation out. If it was a nuclear war, that would just be a complete shit show, and I'm not going to even go into that. Yeah, that's something that probably would never happen. But when you're looking at it from, if you look at it from air, if you look at it from in terms of its air force, India has double the planes of Pakistan. It has most of the planes, apart from the MiG-21s, they've got Mirages, French Mirage, and a couple of other planes that are much more up to date than the Pakistani army. Yeah, Pakistan army or Pakistan Air Force is quite outdated in terms of the military equipment.
Right, that's why 2 of their pilots got destructed and none of our pilots got destroyed.
But remember the aeroplanes that
F-16,
were shot, the aeroplanes that were shot down were MiG-21s, which are the oldest aeroplanes. Those aeroplanes, I'm sorry India, you should be embarrassed of yourself. Those aeroplanes are from 1959. They're old, but when you're looking at they've got a MiG-30 or a MiG-29 or something, these are much more up-to-date aeroplanes than the Mirages and stuff as well. So they're using outdated aeroplanes for that particular skirmish. When it comes to air, they definitely outpower the Pakistani army. When you come into the Navy, there's not even a contest. When it comes to the Indian Navy, it's one of the best in the world. So in terms of Navy-wise, they would lose. So if you're looking at air, sea, and when it comes to ground troops, obviously that's a bit more even. Yeah, India has like 1.5 million army, 1.5 million in terms of the army, and Pakistan has like 500,000. Now, before I go on, I'm not disrespecting the Indian army, but when you're looking at the bulk of what you call the most highly decorated regiments and the hardened regiments, they're from North India. The Punjab regiments and the Sikh regiments that are in India are some of the most highest decorated regiments in the whole of India. Okay. And when it was the 1971 war against Pakistan, it was the Sikh regiments that pretty much demolished the Pakistani army. So when you're looking at Punjab being on the border, if Pakistan has to go by ground forces into India, that will be it'll be a bloodbath. But I personally think the Indian army would outperform them overall.
Right, can I get my rebuttal?
So
you spoke for a long time.
All right, just 1 minute. So basically, when you're talking about air, sea, and ground force,
Yeah.
they would win.
Alright, cool. So I just want to give my rebuttal. You spoke for a long time.
Yeah,
Don't
go,
mind,
go.
I can just
Yeah,
speak
yeah,
for a
go,
while,
go,
yeah.
go.
So like, not Raj is talking about numbers. He's talking about like intelligence, and he's talking about the pilots and military personnel. However, like we already know, the Indian military. Like the biggest arm dealers. It's Israel, by the way. India has spent 530 million to get military defense and ammunition from the Israel military. 530 million, and we get our ammunition from China. Of course, you already know that. So like he basically saying that he has more military personnel. His pilots are more noise pilots, but like his warcraft is more advanced. So therefore, he will win. However, we also have our advantages as well. We have some aircraft that India does not have. We have some ships that India does not have. We have
You have more helicopters.
Yeah, of course. So we have some intelligence agency which is the best in the world, ISI. You must have heard of ISI.
But Bin Laden was in his backyard though, so they can't be that good.
Forget about Bin Laden, man. So a lot of
He
people
was hiding in Pakistan.
A lot of people
for
believe it's a
God knows
conspiracy
how
theory anyway. So our ISI is one of the best in the world. So
Sorry about that. I have to give it a
so
dig.
his army, his military has advantages. However, at the same time, our army has advantages which Raj has not mentioned. So because of this, it could be it'll be a very tight war. However, I do believe Pakistan will give the edge. That it could be my own biases, and maybe it could be your own biases as well. But at the same time, we shouldn't even be talking about war at the moment. We should be talking about
No,
peace.
it's
not a football game.
no, but can I say
Let me speak. So I know he's not specifically he's not talking about. He's just talking about if it happens. Right, no problem, no issue in it.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, if it happens, I believe our military could win because our military personnel has been well trained. Our forces, our intelligence, our military personnel, our commanders ranked #1 in the world. So I believe we could have the edge as well. For example, like the pilots that came, we destroyed the pilots. Even though Raj says it was inferior planes and blah blah blah. However, what happened was we destroyed the pilots, and they claim. Okay, now I was talking about the claim of the F-16, if you don't mind. Yeah. So the F-16 apparently, the Abhinandan whatever guy, whilst he was going down on the floor, he destroyed the F-16. Firstly, Abhinandan himself said he destroyed no F-16. He came, he got destroyed, and he went down. He tried getting his pistol and tried, he threw his pistol away, and then the mob attacked him. There is no objective evidence that the F-16 was destroyed. There's no objective evidence at all. The media, they came and they said, oh, there's the wreckage of the F-16. However, what happened was it wasn't really no F-16 wreckage. It was some old media footage. So I have to be honest, the Indian media has been very biased and has been promoting the war, and the Bollywood actors as well. The Bollywood actors like Priyanka Chopra, Salman Khan, and all these other actors, they've been promoting this war.
Are they?
I have to be honest with you.
I don't
If
see-
you,
I need to look.
the proof is in Twitter. They be saying Jai Hind, we don't mess with us, this and that. Like they're promoting the war. We don't want the war. We want peace. The new government, the new establishment, Imran Khan, he wants to promote stability to our country. He wants peace. He wants to improve the currency, the economy. He wants to improve everything as well. So having a war for both countries wouldn't be good. Like your country is developing.
Let me say something before you go on.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm not saying I want war. I'm just giving an analysis
Of
of
course,
what might
I
happen.
clearly
if
said
it
that. Roger. I clearly said that
happens.
before. I was like, he's explaining if it happened. Like if you believe, he believes that India's gonna win. I believe Pakistan's gonna win. I gave my facts. He gave his facts. But to be honest, we shouldn't be focused on that at the moment. The reason why we made this video, to first of all to decrease the political tensions. Like, look, you're seeing me with Raj. I would never expect the day of me and Raj make a video together talking about Pakistan and India, because of course I had a lot of hatred for him of the stuff he said.
I love the hate.
But out of peace, out of stability, I want to have a common resolution with the Indians. I want to be friends with the Indians. I want have a good solution with them and have peace and promote peace.
I'm probably not the best, but we should have. It would have been nice to have somebody who's pro-Indian, because obviously I'm not pro-Indian. I'm pro-Punjabi, and if I feel like India winning would be beneficial for Punjab, I'm going to support India.
That's the problem then, innit? Because Raj is a pro-Punjab, he's not a pro-Indian.
Yeah, so
he only cares about Punjab. He doesn't
Yeah, I
care
know,
about South India. He doesn't care about Gujarat.
All right,
he just cares about Punjab. That's the
this is why the
Yeah.
Khalistanis,
Yeah.
some Khalistanis believe that Pakistan would be beneficial for the Punjab. I don't think that. So we have some Sikhs on the Punjab in India side that are supporting Pakistan,
Yeah.
and they're only supporting it because they think it would be beneficial for independence of Punjab.
Yeah.
And the same with me. I personally believe it would be more beneficial for Sikhs or the Punjab to stay within India. Let me say one other reason why India would probably win if any military, let's say if it escalated military. Right now it's just skirmishes. In terms of Pakistan, it has two things that are going to be detrimental to Pakistan if it went to war, which is nothing to do with the military in the sense of its military prowess. Firstly, it only has 8 billion in terms of reserves. 8 billion for a country is very low. India has $500 billion. Yeah, half a trillion. Half a trillion, yeah, nearly 500 billion. So when you're waging a war, one of the things that you need is finance. You can't do it where you can't pay your soldiers with, candy bars. You've got to be able to finance your war, so they'll have to start borrowing in order to finance the war. Secondly, whether you like it or not, in terms of stability, India has been an independent country since 1947 and has had a stable democratic government, from what I know.
Stable.
Not
After all the massacres from the BJP.
We're not talking about individual states. We're talking about the central government of Delhi.
Yeah.
When you're talking about a government from 1947 until today, there has been democratic elections every 3, 4 to 5, whatever years, and whether they're corrupt or not is not the point. It's still stable. Pakistan, on the other hand, has been through, I think, 4 to 5 military coups since its inception.
I agree with that.
So when you're looking at what country is more militarily more powerful, it's no doubt India. When you're looking at economically, it's more powerful. India is going to be the 5th largest economy in the world soon, or number 4. When you're looking at in terms of stability, in terms of a country, Pakistan is much more unstable. There could be a point that if the war escalates and they start losing, Imran Khan would be easily ousted as president, and the military would take control. Could you not see that happening? Or
To be honest, as a Pakistani myself, I don't really see that happening. Even though Raj has his opinions, some of the stuff I agree with, some of the stuff I disagree with. Firstly, we know Pakistan, when the country was formed, it was owed a lot of money from the Indian government. Not the Indian government, but the British establishment. So there's $1 trillion of rupees that was owed to us in order to finance our new country. And that money was not given for us. So we basically started new. Your country has already had the money, the wealth, the economy, they had everything. Our country started new. So maybe this could be the reason why we lost some of the wars, alright? And secondly, Raju, what were you talking about again?
no, we're talking about this it's reserves. Financial reserves.
Oh, cool, reserves. So we are Muslims, right? So we don't care. We don't fight for money. We don't fight for anything. We fight for our motherland. And we know we're not scared of death. We know once we die for our country is jihad. We're gonna die and we're gonna go to Jannah, inshallah.
I'm sorry, bro, but
we have this religion.
Oh, let me say that.
No, it's just a motivation.
I know,
motivation
but you need to understand. When it comes to motivation, there's one people on the border the Sikhs that have just as much motivation as you, which is why you're not going to get through.
I believe the Muslims have the most motivation out of
Dude.
all. Why? Because we know we're going to go Jannah, inshallah.
That's why we won.
We don't care. No, that's not even the point. And
No, we're getting a bit silly now.
no,
We're
okay,
getting a
okay,
bit silly.
that's a bit silly.
Yeah,
I
no,
agree.
no,
And
no.
Raja's talking about stability of
Yeah.
India. Yeah, I believe no. India was not has stability for a long time. One, the Gujarat massacre, and secondly, the biggest fact I can give you is Jammu Kashmir. What's been going on in Jammu Kashmir has been happening for decades. The military personnel, you know, Jammu Kashmir is the most militarized zone in the world. 700,000 military personnel is in Jammu Kashmir right now, and they've been responsible for so many rapes. What do you call it? Doctors Without Borders, which is an international medical humanitarian organization, have stated that Kashmiri people are the worst sufferers of sexual violence in the world.
No,
I'm just trying. I'm just trying to no, but that's Jammu
I agree
Kashmir
with
is
you.
part of Kashmir, right?
Yeah, I
I know
agree
it's administrated Kashmir, but it's administrated by India, but it's still part of India, right? So even though it should not be, my personal opinion, but like. There's so many instability that's going on in India for so long, for the massacre of the Sikhs, Gujarat, the Kashmiri people. So I wouldn't believe that India is occupied. By the way, the most patriotic country in the world is being ranked recently has been Pakistan. India is of course in top there as well, but it's not as much as Pakistan. But I know many Indians that would not fight for India. I know many Sikhs that would not fight for India.
Yeah, I know there's a lot
I
of
know
Sikh
because of the BJP party, of course, and I know many Tamil Nadus would not fight for India as well. They want their own nation. I'm sure, like you want, like every single province to have their own nation.
There's a lot of
So,
separatists
so
who-
I don't know how can Raj can say that India's like we're stable, so we will easily
No,
fight
you-
the
okay.
media. Even though you're not even united. Us Pakistanis, the Khyber Pakhtoon people, recently the Khyber Pakhtoon, the Pathan people, they were willing to go to the border, the line of control, and fight for the Pakistani military for free. No money, no nothing at all, no guns. They were ready to fight. Why? Because of the love of the motherland. Our country, alhamdulillah, is like united. Even though Balochistan, like there's some stuff going on in Balochistan, I have to be honest with you, but like at the same time,
we need to speak to you, Big Ards. You said a few things.
no,
last time.
Balochistan,
Big up Big Ards though, but we need to speak to him
I
about
believe it's
some of the
over-exaggerated, but
differences,
at the same time, I believe all the provinces are united under the name of Pakistan. You know, all this conflict right now at the moment is actually united Pakistan and is actually divided India.
Alright, so
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, so let me say something. Before you go, you're straw manning me when it comes to when I'm talking about a stable. In terms of a stable government, I never equated the stable government to being provinces or different
It's one of
states.
it's not what.
So what I'm- when I-
it's
when
one
I'm-
of the premises of stability, unity.
Hold on, when I'm talking about a stable government, I'm talking about when you have elections every other couple. I mean, this is a very basic premise of what I'm talking about stability.
Yeah.
It's being able to have an election every 4 to 5 years, have a party be elected and run its, let's just say, run its presidency throughout that time, without there being a military coup, even once. So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about it in the sense that I'm not talking about the massacres that have happened, and this is all things that happen within states, which is totally, I condemn totally. But when it comes to the government of Delhi being stable, without there being a kind of like a takeover or a military coup going in, there's no doubt when it comes to Pakistan, it has been overtaken so many times by the generals, and it can happen again very, very easily.
Alright, cool. I do agree with Raja that our previous governments have been corrupt and they've messed up the country. And like I've already mentioned, the Bangladesh genocide, whatever. But at the same, right now, we're talking about right now. Let's talk about the president right now. We have a very established prime minister called Imran Khan. Can we just talk about Abhinandan? Yeah, because I never got
Yeah,
to
you
finish,
say your
I never
bit,
got to finish my point about
Yeah.
Abhinandan. So basically, Imran Khan, of course, we captured the pilot in Pakistan, administrated Kashmir. We captured the pilot Abhinandan, and as a peace gesture, Imran Khan released the Abhinandan. Even though, like people say, we released them out of pressure, out of fear, because of the Geneva Conventions. Geneva Convention, right? Geneva Convention. However, you know that there's one Pakistani military personnel that was in Indian prison for 40 years. Where was the Geneva Convention at that time? His tongue was chopped off, everything. However,
Was he a Pakistani soldier?
yeah, his name is Maksud something,
Oh, I
for
didn't
40
know
years.
that. I didn't know
So
that.
where was Geneva Convention then? So we didn't release it out of fear, out of scare, or we were frustrated or whatever. No, we released him out of a peace gesture. Tell me any country that releases a prisoner after 2 days. So it shows Imran Khan is about peace. He wants to release the prisoner in order to, redeem the tensions, to make Pakistan and India friends again. Of course, we're not friends,
No,
but
we know.
But we want to release the tensions. However, India's not doing that. Look at the media. Have you not seen the Indian
Yeah,
media?
the India's been
Look,
crazy.
I want to say one thing about the Pakistani media.
Yeah.
Look, about Pakistani media, I don't agree with it. Yeah, when I watch it, I get frustrated. However, I do I'm very happy what the Pakistani media did when it comes to the recent political tensions between Pakistan and India, because the Pakistani media were very responsible, because they know how it feels to have war. Because we've been fighting the Pakistani government has been fighting terrorism for 20, 30, 40 years, for such a long time. So we know the consequences of war. So we realize war is not a good thing. We don't want to promote war. We want peace. However, the Indian media, they were always promoting the war. The celebrities, the media, they were always let's go war. Let's kill them. Let's fight Pakistan. Pakistan's this, Pakistan's that. So it was,
And let me say something.
it was the media, man.
As
It was
a
hyping up.
Sikh, I don't want war with Pakistan because at the end of the day, if there is a war, the people that are going to be affected the most, disproportionately, are going to be the Sikhs. Firstly, Sikhs are 1%
Right next to the border, yeah.
Sikhs are 1% of the population, but make up 15% of the army.
Yeah.
The border where you will have most of the war that would occur would be on the Punjab, Gujarat area like that,
Exactly,
Kashmir.
exactly.
And it would definitely have a lot of Sikhs in the Punjab will be most affected if anything did happen. So for me, I don't want war. Yeah, I believe that, you know, war will just lead to misery for the Punjab. And like I said, I'm pro-Punjabi more than pro-Indian. So if they can reach some kind of... But the thing is, we need to understand Modi is a fascist.
So do you believe Modi is like fueling the fire for the
course he
tensions
is.
between Pakistan and
Of
India?
course, he's a-
So do you believe that Pakistan is like wants peace between the two nations, but
Yeah, of
however,
course, yeah.
India is always promoting
That's what I'm
this
saying.
violation?
That's what I'm saying.
So that means you're on Pakistan's side then when it comes to this circumstance.
Let me say something. I'm on Punjab side.
No, but
So when I'm saying that India, yeah, in my opinion, is behaving very aggressively in terms of Modi.
Exactly.
Modi is behaving aggressively because he's got an election coming up and he knows his ground base are Hindu fundamentalists and he knows the way to galvanize these people is to have a boogeyman, which is Pakistan, and he wants to demonize Pakistan.
anti-rhetoric.
That doesn't mean that I believe that Pakistan is totally faultless in this. I still believe that Pakistan has its faults as well. But if you was to equate, if you was to try to judge what side is more of the aggressor, I would say it's Modi.
Well, see, Raj admitted that as well. So I
Well,
really
I
respect,
hate Modi.
as an Indian himself. You classify yourself as Indian? by any chance?
No, I don't.
Alright, but as a person that lives in Indian province, he actually blames Modi for the responsibility between the recent tensions between Pakistan and India. Because Imran Khan, he made so much statements saying, listen, we want peace between the two nations. If you want to have a dialogue, come, let's have a dialogue. If you want to like investigate with the Pulwama, the attacks in Jammu Kashmir, come, we'll investigate with you guys. We want peace. We don't want any war. So come and have a dialogue. But Modi is always refusing it.
No,
Why?
but-
He wants to win the elections. How is he going to win the elections? By having anti-patriotic Pakistani slogans against us in order to fuel the fire and make Indians hate Pakistan.
Yeah, but this is something that leaders have done for as long as we
Modi's
can
done it so
remember.
many times anyway.
No,
He-
not just Modi, but other leaders, other presidents and prime ministers have started false wars or false.
and it
whatever.
works sometimes as well, right?
And it's not sometimes it does work.
But for Modi, I believe it did not work for him.
I guarantee we'll come back when Modi
Yeah.
the elections
Yeah.
happen. He'll probably win again because this particular
Nah.
incident, if it works out well for him and that he gets the upper hand, will be something that he will use in his elections as
But
being a
Raj,
strong leader.
many
Did you know that Margaret Thatcher, before the Falklands War, she had no support? When the Falklands War came, she was a national hero, and then she won that 4 elections after that, just on the back of the Falklands War. Yeah. Prior to that, if you look at her, the way she was treated, she was not respected. So when you're looking at wars and stuff like that, especially against your arch nemesis, because people need to understand that India and Pakistan, like two brothers, are like arch enemies in a way. And so if you're going to go to war with any country and it's going to give you brownie points, it's going to be India fighting with Pakistan, isn't it? You can
Exactly.
see the media. I mean,
Exactly.
it's kind of gone full force about.
That's the
propagating
problem, man.
war.
It's the media that's been fueling the fire. It's the celebrities, the public figures that have been fueling the fire between the two countries.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be happening. We should be promoting peace between the two nations. Unfortunately, it's not happening. Why? Like you said, the elections. Modi wants to win his elections. And it's disgusting, man. I don't know why. Like many educated Indians, even they have basically blamed Modi. If you've seen the videos, even seen the Indian military personnel, he's made a video saying that like the media, the government has not been giving him food, not treating him well. And like they know it themselves. War is not, it's not a solution. We should have peace. We should have a resolution. We should have dialogue. Let's come to the United Nations. Let's have a referendum for Kashmir. I think the main issue we should be talking about is Kashmir. That's one of the main principles, the main reasons why the two countries are fighting is over Kashmir, right?
Yeah.
So I think the main concern we should all be talking about and spreading awareness is Kashmir.
Well, what I'm going to do is when I go back, we'll end the thingy because I need to go home.
Alright, cool.
But what we'll do is I'll look into Kashmir because I don't really know the history.
Study the history. I already
And let
spoke
me
about
just
it.
study it. Yeah, so let me go into the history
Yeah.
and have a look. And then what we'll do, if you're here next week or Big R's or whatever, we'll talk
I'll be
about.
in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yes, yeah. So I'll probably be there, but then we'll talk about. I'll wait until 2 weeks and let me decide about Kashmir. Let me look into Kashmir
Yeah,
myself.
have some time to research, yeah.
Because I want to see how similar is Kashmir's situation to the Punjab situation. It sounds similar because you have a lot of water coming from Punjab, and the reason they don't want to let go of it is obviously the agriculture, the water supply and stuff like that,
Yeah.
is going to be so kind of like important to the rest of the state. So I'll look into that. And Osama, are we going to do? Because last time you wouldn't do the.
Look, I did it to him. Yeah. Look, I respect
You
him
did
because he
you
spoke
did
the truth today. innit?
Pakistan and India back together. Right.
Alright, can I just conclude? Yeah.
Yeah, do your
If
thing.
you want to
man. Do
conclude,
your
you
thing.
can as well if you want.
Yeah, that's all I want to say, man. So that's
So-
cool, man. Anyway.
So you finish your conclusion.
Yeah, you do your
Alright,
thing.
cool. So, like I said, the main issue is Kashmir, right? And I believe the Kashmir people should have a referendum. The referendum will solve everything. Like, but however, India was very like, you know, they did not want the referendum. Why? Because they know it's going to go favor upon Pakistan. So if the Kashmiri people want to vote, their own nation, India, Pakistan, is up to them. The United Nations have gave the resolution since 1947. They gave the resolution and they wanted the Kashmiri people to decide. However, that referendum has never happened till this date. So I think the only solution between Pakistan and India is letting them have the referendum. Once they have the referendum, they'll be able to decide. Do you want to join Pakistan, India, Kashmir? And after that, all the problems get solved. And we know at that time in Jammu Kashmir, the people at that region, they want to join Pakistan, most of them. Of course, there's some people that want independence, but I believe of course, I'm Kashmiri myself, and I spoke to a lot of people there, they want to join Pakistan. And then all the problems will get solved. And Pakistan can mind their own business, and India can mind their own business. Alhamdulillah, we have a good Prime Minister, Imran Khan. He's one of the best Prime Ministers we've ever had, honestly. Like the way he's been promoting the peace, and promoting peace between the two regions, freeing the captive only after a couple of days. Like, which country does that? It's quite rare for a country to do that, to free a prisoner of war in a couple of days. It's not because of pressure or any stuff like that. It's just because of our peace, our gesture of peace. That's what we want. So hopefully, as a Kashmiri myself, I'm very sad of the stuff that's happening in Indian-occupied Kashmir. Many people have been killed and massacred and
It's going to
raped.
be the Kashmiris and Punjabis that will suffer the most.
Exactly,
There's no doubt.
Punjabis in India have also suffered.
On both sides, because Punjab has been split in half. Half is in Pakistan, half
What
is
do you
in
wait?
India.
So one question to clarify: do you want the Pakistani Punjab and India Punjab to be united, or
No,
do
no,
you
no.
want just your India Punjab to be united?
As of today,
Oh, sorry.
we'll talk about this in a few because I
Just-
think we
just
need
know
to
your
go to it.
opinion,
But in terms of Punjab at the
Yeah.
moment, I would want Punjab to be a separate country.
Pakistan,
In itself.
Punjab as well?
No. That would never happen. I'm talking about India.
Oh, okay, just India, Punjab.
Just India, Punjab. But if it was 1947 and they were carving up India,
Yeah.
I would have preferred Punjab to stay one.
Yeah.
Because right now Lahore is in Pakistan, half of our religious sites are over in that side, half
Yeah.
of them are over this side.
Yeah.
So if it was 1947 and we had to redraw the borders and stuff,
Yeah.
I would have said make Punjab one country, make Kashmir one country. Yeah, and then basically leave it like that. India could
Does
have
big
had
odds
it.
agree with that as well, innit?
I don't know if we agree. We can talk about that later, but that's how. But as of today, because we can't turn back time, I agree with you. Well done for saying this about referendums, because let the people decide and whatever
Exactly.
they want to do. But I will say something that we could discuss in the future because I need to look into
Yeah.
it. Is that I truly believe that India would rather let Punjab burn and would rather let Kashmir burn than give it independence, because it's like a domino effect. For them to allow these particular states to, separate and become independent, without, I mean, I'm not going to say they're not actually being irrational about this. It's actually rational. Other states will want an independence as well. You'd want Gujarat. South Indians will want another state. So I think they're seeing it as a domino effect. If you let Kashmir go, if you let Punjab go, the whole thing is going to.
Isn't that what you want, though? You want every province to have their own country anyway. So
I personally
for
want
you
that.
it'd be good, but for the
I'm
Indian
try-
government
no,
it would be bad.
I'm trying to look at it from their perspective.
Okay, from this.
So I'm trying to look at what would the Indian government be thinking when
Yeah.
they're saying we don't want to give these areas up at no cost. I personally believe they would rather let these areas burn than to give them up. They'd
Right.
rather them be destroyed.
I understand that. Yeah.
You understand? So that's how strongly they believe in keeping their country united.
Yeah.
Anyway, Osama, I think that was a good chat, and
Yeah.
hopefully we can do it again in 2 weeks. We'll talk about Kashmir. What I do want to do, if Big Odds is here, I would actually like to know. Let's carry the Indian history series, one of the greatest ever series. We haven't done it for a bit. Let's talk about Kashmir next time.
Alright, cool.
The history of Kashmir, because I don't know the history of Kashmir.
Cool.
So if you can research into that, and I'll look into it myself. You can carry on. Anyway, man.
Come take over everything from your humility. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to
One thing I
ITV.
want to clarify, yeah. A lot of people say that in Islam, nationalism is haram. Alright, cool. I want to know what nationalism is. If nationalism is that you love the people of your land and the people of your nation, then there's no issue, because in Surah Hijrat it says like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you into tribes so you get to know each other. However, if nationalism is that you put your country before your religion, then I'm totally against that. Religion for me is number one, then it's my country. So I just want to clarify that, because a lot of people think I'm a nationalist or whatever. I wanna, no problem.